Hello friends, today we will be doing King Lear, a play by William Shakespeare. It is a tragedy play and the major themes of the play are revenge, ambition, power, betrayal, fate, family, mortality. Now let us take look at the important characters of the play. The important characters are King Lear, Cordelia, Goneril, Regan. These three are the daughters of King Lear, Gloucester, Edmund, Edgar, Kent, Albany, Cornwall, Fool, and Oswald. Now, without wasting much time, let us start with the summary of the play. Lear, who is the king of the Britain, realizes that he is getting old day by day and he should now step down from the throne and divide his kingdom among his three daughters. Lear was a flattery-loving person, so he asks his daughters to tell him how much they loved their father. The first two daughters, Regan and Goneril, impressed their father with the most flattering sentences they could ever say. But Cordelia, on the other hand, said that she loves her father as much as a daughter should love her father. Nothing more and nothing less than that. Cordelia, being the youngest of all the daughters, was the favorite of Lear, and he never expected such an answer from her. Cordelia's answer did not please him at all, and he was raged with fire. Cordelia's behavior upset him so much that he decided to disown her. And seriously, he gave nothing, not even 1 inch of his empire to Cordelia. All this was happening in front of King of France, who had come to marry Cordelia. And he accepted Cordelia even when King Lear has disowned her and she owned nothing. King of France took Cordelia with himself to France, and both of them together left Britain without the blessings of King Lear. As the time went by, King Lear realized that things are not same as it was when he was the king. He starts to notice changes in the behavior of his two daughters. In this play, there is a subplot weaved around the characters Gloucester, Edmund, and Edgar. Gloucester is the father, and Edmund and Edgar are his two sons, in which Edgar is the legitimate one and Edmund is an illegitimate child. And because Edmund is an illegitimate child, he is worried about his disinheritance of the property Gloucester owns. It is quite obvious for Edmund to feel a little jealous of his legitimate brother Edgar, but his jealousy takes another height. Edgar from the property of Gloucester. Edmund, what he does is he gives a letter to his father in which it was written that Edmund is proposing him to kill his father Gloucester and divide the wealth between the two brothers. Edmund convinces Gloucester that Edgar is an unfaithful son. On the other side of the play, Lear decides to move to Goneril's palace. But when he arrives there, he finds himself not to be treated so well. Even though King Lear had given up the throne, he did carry a troop with him. These troops gave him the familiarity of kingship he had enjoyed for so long. But Goneril was not happy with all this. She wanted Lear to have a smaller troop and the troop to be more decorous and behaved. That would suit King's age and his rank. Lear did not expect such impolite behavior from Goneril, and he decided to move to Regan's house. But to his surprise, when he reached there, Regan, instead of welcoming him, further reduces the number of troops he had carried with him. On the other side of the play, we see that Edmund has wounded himself and he pretended that the wound was given by Edgar. Edgar said that Edmund said that Edgar has attacked him. Gloucester was now sure that Edgar will soon attack Gloucester as well. So he decides to make Edmund somehow the legal heir of his property. Because things were very intricately woven by Edmund against Edgar, Edgar had to leave the place and he decided to disguise himself as Bedlam Beggar, and he called himself Poor Tom. Lear, on reaching Regan's house, has an argument with her, and Goneril also joins Regan. Both of the sisters unite in reducing King Lear's authority, which is completely unacceptable to the Lear. He therefore takes his horses and gets away from the palace with a fool. Even though outside a storm was, the fool tried to stop his master as a fool. Even though outside a storm was, the fool tried to stop his master as the weather outside was stormy and not good for his health at all. But Lear was not at all ready to submit to his daughters and did leave the palace. He then happens to meet Poor Tom, who also was forced to leave his place. Gloucester was faithful to King Lear and he wanted to save his master from the troubles he was going through. Gloucester, because trusted his son Edmund, told about his plan how he would save King Lear, not realizing that Edmund would immediately pass it to Cornwall. Edmund was rewarded for his courage with Gloucester's title and lands. When Regan got to know about Gloucester's plan to save King Lear, he was captured by her. He was not only captured but also tortured. Cornwall brutally gouges out Gloucester's eyes. But looking at the cruelty, Cornwall's one of the servants stabs Cornwall himself and he dies on the spot. Gloucester is blinded and thrown out of the palace. The blind Gloucester, helpless, happens to meet Edgar. Because Edgar was disguised, Gloucester do not recognizes his son, but he realizes that Edmund was the one who was unfaithful and not the Edgar. Out of grief, all he wanted to do is commit suicide and do away with his life. He wants to jump off the cliff and be dead, but Edgar somehow tricks him into believing that he was saved even after his jump. The two sisters, on the other hand, wanted to make sure that their traitor Gloucester was dead. So they sent Oswald to kill him. But instead slains Oswald. But before dying, he reveals that Goneril had asked to kill her husband Albany so that she can get out of her wedding and she can marry Edmund. Actually, the thing was, the two sisters were not together themselves. They two were fighting against each other too. Goneril wanted to marry Edmund, and also Regan had a crush on Edmund. When Cordelia gets to know about the condition of King Lear and the things that are happening at the Palace of England, she decides to come back and help her father. Edmund, on the other hand, passes order that King Lear and Cordelia must be imprisoned. Now we come to the end of the play where Albany, Goneril, Regan, Edmund, all of them confronts each other. At the end, Edmund's treachery is revealed and he is wounded badly by Edgar, who is still disguised. Now, because there was no unity or love among the two sisters themselves, they conspired against each other. Goneril poisoned Regan and she died. But later, she herself dies too. Now we see that both the sisters Regan and Goneril are dead, and also Edmund, before dying, says his truth about his treachery and demands to know the identity of the killer, which Edgar reveals his identity and also tells him that Gloucester had died. When before dying, Vaughan reveals that it was his and Goneril's plan that they should get King Lear and Cordelia killed, and Cordelia's death appeared like a suicide. Before Edgar could stop, reveals that it was his and Goneril's plan that they should get King Lear and Cordelia killed, and Cordelia's death to appear like a suicide. Before Edgar could stop the order, Cordelia was hanged, and because Cordelia was dead, Lear could not bear the death of. Now it was too late for Lear to realize that his youngest daughter was true about her words. She was here, he needed her daughter the most. Lear realizes that Cordelia loved him for his father, loved him like a father, not more, not less. But it was too late for him to realize all this. Now that Cordelia was dead, he could not bear with her death, and he also dies. At the end of the play, we see that Albany is left to rule the kingdom. And that's how we reach the end of the video. Hope you liked it.
Thank you, lovely people, for holding yourself till here. Do check out other videos too. Stay connected. Keep learning.